about to do a tier list, nigga. Yeah. See what we got. Probably can't remember half of these niggas' names. This nigga Filler. He don't matter. Put him in D. Zatch Bell Mamodo tier ranking. Let's go. I'm ranking Mamodo from Zatch Bell. Alright. Got one view, let's go. Wait, that might be me because I got it on my phone. Hell, that's embarrassing. Alright. Now how many licks does it take to get to max status? Player status. I probably shouldn't sing R. Kelly on stream. Damn, I didn't even have to say his name. Y'all probably didn't even know. Oh, god damn. So how do I... Uh-oh. Think I'm figuring this out. Oh, you niggas in trouble. I don't know what that meant. No clue what that meant. Oh, it's already been seen on stream. Fuck it. Don't even matter at that point, y'all. Now, can you change the size? How do I like crop it? At least I ain't got no embarrassing tabs open. You know, it's like 30 different people I could ask for help. But I'm not going to. Am I dreaming? No, whatever, man. It is what it is. Gotta roll with the punches. Just keep myself out of the S tier. I don't want to block the S tier. But why doesn't it update on the actual stream? Now if I move this, would I be messing it up? I don't want to mess nothing up. There we go. Alright. Even though I don't think I was supposed to do it that way. So how are we gonna start this off? I guess we just go in order. That'd be boring though, cause Brago right here at the front. Shout out Brago. Well, no, because it can't be in alphabetical order. I was thinking it was in alphabetical order, but if it was, then Clear Note would be up here. And Zatch and Zeno would be down here. Okay. Alright. Let's see what we can make happen. I'm gonna do it like this. Alright, Balto. And this is a strength tier list. We don't do that character shit. We're gonna do strength because that's more contentious, I think. Balto, you know, man, I think Balto had a ton of potential, even though it don't make no sense at all that he had like a Megazord. That didn't make no sense whatsoever. He had a nigga named Sting as his book owner, and that nigga was a failed boxer. So how could he afford a mech? And I know this nigga didn't come from the demon world with a mech. That don't make no sense at all. But Makoto Raikou is my favorite nigga in the world, so I give him a pass. How he got a giant robot though? But the fact still remains that he has a giant robot. That's got to count for something. It gave Zatch and Kyo a lot of trouble. But Kyo's a genius, so of course he figured it out. You know what? I'm thinking about it. Like, how would everybody else on this tier list fare against that giant robot with the super duper cannons and being able to stomp on niggas? And I guess I can cross that road when I come to it, like thinking about every other character that I'm ranking against Balto. I'm gonna put Balto in B for now, because I think giant robot is just like, wow, this nigga got a giant robot. Okay, so where do we go from here? I'm gonna save Cherish. That's her name, ain't it? Cherish. Why do I remember her partner's name but not her? Nicole was her partner's name, by the way. This is Cherish. It looked like I'm circling her titties. That's not cool. All right, face. This is Cherish. I don't even know if y'all can see my cursor on the stream. Oh, you can? Yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah. Hold on, I'm sending this out to some people. I'm doing too many things, man. Let's see, I'm back streaming. Come through. If you like me. I know you do. You might not like Zatch Bell though, but that's cool. And these are literally the words that I'm putting into the tweet, by the way. All right. So let me see. I gotta send this out to some people, try to get some people. It's probably not gonna work. Nobody's gonna respond, right? See what happens. It's 4:30 in the morning, 4:45 in the morning, even worse. That might be better because people are getting closer to waking up. Yeah, see what happens? Yeah. People been waiting on this, man. They tell me every day, like, when you gonna start streaming again, Nick? And I be like, man, I don't even know, Nick. But here I am. Here I am. It's me. Oh my god. I might invest in a better camera. It'll be stupid because I'm probably never gonna do this again. But I'm gonna get a better camera. All right. So Kalulu. How does Kalulu fare against Balto? Kalulu is pretty damn strong, but she was introduced very early and dispatched very early because she wanted nothing to do with the Mamodo battle. So those damn bureaucrats, they decided it would be proper to instill demonic energy within her past her natural demonic disposition because she didn't actually display demonic tendencies. Because they're all demons. I like saying it like that. So her powers are really unknown in a way because now that we have the series being the way it is in the sequel, we might actually get to see what Kalulu's actual skill set is away from the manipulation of the demon world bureaucrats. And I'm saying bureaucrats, but I don't even know if it was bureaucrats, if it was just the king who was like, make that bitch fight. Like, which would be kind of messed up because the king is like Zatch's daddy. And Zatch is so cool. He's such a nice guy. He want to be a kind king, but his daddy like, hey man, she in here. She got picked. So I just struggled really hard to not call a little girl a bitch. I'm sorry. I could have kept that to myself. I didn't have to say that. But Kalulu, her abilities as we saw them were that she has this other form that she can go into where she get these razor sharp claws. Her body it's like kind of robotic in a sense because she can shoot off rockets from her arms, and I think she can make her nails shoot out of her hands, and she was pretty dangerous. But once again, it was very early in the series, so it might actually be fair, especially compared to a lot of the people that we're seeing on this tier list. It might be fair to say that she's D, honestly, especially when you consider that with her disposition not wanting to fight in the first place, you know, she might not even end up transforming. Because you also got to keep in mind that they have the partners who have to control them with the books. Well, not control them, but I mean, you've seen Zatch Bell. You watching this, you've seen Zatch Bell. You know what I'm talking about. Who's next? All right, let's go Byakko. Now, Byakko's pretty strong, man. You know, I think he might be a little slept on. The Zatch Bell community not really that big. I haven't heard nobody give their opinion on Byakko, but I feel like Byakko's kind of slept on. I'm just going on a limb here. But that nigga took Demalt and put him on his ass, if I remember correctly, with his tongue. Oh, that sounds nasty. Okay, he's a frog, and frogs got long tongues. So, you know, in fiction, when a character has frog-like abilities, they tend to exaggerate what a frog is naturally capable of. So in the sense that Byakko is that frog nigga, his tongue stretches out and it's real stretchy and it's strong. It's powerful. He has a powerful tongue. So, and these are all kids, the Mamodos. Got to keep that in mind. Don't want to get too off the range, you know. I think I just made that up. I don't think I've ever heard nobody say off the range in my life. But Byakko's strong. So, knowing that he was able to do anything to Demalt, even if it was minuscule, I think that means that he should be able to deal with Balto's giant robot. So maybe I overestimated the mech. And then once you figure out what the mech's secret is, it's pretty easy to take care of it anyway. So, yeah, I'm going to move Balto down, man. Let's see. And then Byakko will go in B, which may change depending on who gets added to the list. So who will I do next? I'm going to keep this as random as possible. Yo Popo. Yeah, Yo Popo. Yeah, I'm going to do Yo Popo next, man. That's my nigga, man. I can't even remember what he do. I think he got like a little rainbow beam or like it's a feather in the shape of a rainbow or something, man. I can't remember, but that's my nigga, man. Yo Popo. Nigga say, Yo Popo, Yo Popo. Super boy. I love this nigga, man. Oh my god. All right, yeah, but he was pretty strong. I don't know if he can beat Balto though. Even though he did do damage to the big nigga. Do they have him on this tier list? They should. He fought my nigga Yopopo, man. He should be on here. I can't even remember his name. But he was a big nigga though. He wasn't as big as the Molt, but he was big. Yeah, he's not on here for some reason, but they got this bitch. So Yopopo, would he be able to deal with the mech? I actually do not know. And Yopopo was introduced earlier than the Millennium Mamodo arc, so I think that he wouldn't actually scale to those demons that were demonstrating their powers in that arc. Millennium Mamodo. Is that even something that people call that arc? I don't even know. I think so. Could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, but I'll be right a decent amount of the time. So maybe this is one of those instances. Yopopo might not be able to tackle the... Well, I literally don't think he'll be able to tackle it, but he may not be able to handle the robot of Balto. Is it Balto or Baltro? I think it's Baltro. Have I been saying Balto this whole time? Balto is the dog, ain't it? From the movie where he delivered the vaccine. Vaccines is real hot topic right now. Oh damn! I don't even think you're supposed to say vaccine on YouTube right now. Damn, my first stream back, I might get locked. Oh no! Oh god, no. Yeah, I don't think he can be Baltro. I think he can be Baltro. And Baltro really didn't show much outside of the mech, even though it's kind of crazy to say outside of the mech he didn't show much because the mech is crazy. But Yopopo under Baltro. I think that's good. All right, so after that, we're going to go with Robnos. Robnos is also very early, and if I remember correctly, he was before Yopopo. But that doesn't mean Yopopo has to be stronger, or even that Baltro is stronger, because Robnos had a secret where he could separate himself, and that tripped up Zatch and Kyo greatly. He can become two niggas. I do believe that, given the fact that most people wouldn't be used to that, I think it might be a hassle to deal with. So, Robnos, just based off of the virtue of having a natural ability that most people aren't familiar with, I think that should put him above D at the very least. But then you get into the fact that he has a power that's it's light based. He has lasers, and I think they shoot out of his eyes. It don't really matter where they shoot from. I mean, you know. Well, actually, it does matter when you get into like the power scale and all that. But I'm not a power scale. I'm not about to be like 580,000 pixels. That means it's city level, and you know. And no hate on the power scaling community, man. I love y'all. Y'all do the thing, and I'll be entertained sometimes, but sometimes I'll be like, hey man, we don't do all that. So, Robnos, I feel like he's gonna end up being C tier, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Yeah, but I think over Yopopo, he showed more than Yopopo did, even though I love Yopopo, you know. For right now, I'm going to put him in between Yopopo and Baltro. I didn't even mention the fact that his two sides, they can combine and become a bigger nigga. That's also important. Robnos. What else can Robnos do? Is that it? I mean, it's a pretty big deal, but like, is that it? Okay, alright. Damn, I'm thinking about it. Like, the power levels get kind of crazy in Zatch Bell, so I think I'm gonna end up having to move all these niggas to D and Byakko. Is his name right? Byakko to C. I think that's what I'm gonna end up having to do. So, Let me see. Who's next? Will it be Maroose? Or the little nigga that I be getting confused with Maroose? I could tell because his shirt and his shorts, you can't even see his face. But I know who it is. I don't know his name though. I'm gonna do Maroose because he around that same tier power. And he was introduced at a similar time in the story. So Maroose it is. Maroose was kind of strong, but I think it only took Tia and Zatch because Tia was dealing with the mental thing. You know, it's like a common trope in fiction where people fight and they kind of hold themselves back, which is kind of like a highly debated topic right now in the One Piece community with Kizaru. But we're not here for that. So Maroose demonstrated a decent amount of power for that tier of fighter at that point in time. So I want to have Maroose ranked at somewhere in C tier. Excuse me. But does he beat Yopopo? I don't think he can beat Robnos. Because I think Robnos is probably a bad matchup for him because his power is all steel and spikes and everything, and Robnos might be somewhat impervious to that, being made of steel. Well, I mean, I'm saying steel. I don't know if it's steel, but it's some type of metal. They both deal with some type of metal. So that might not be, the best for Maroose. And I don't know if he can deal with Baltro. That mech is a pretty serious deal at this tier of combat. Yopopo. You know what, man? Yopopo shows so much heart. And I'm not just saying that just a cape for Yopopo. That's actually a factor in Zatch Bell fights, heart power. So I'm going to say that Yopopo might be Maroose. And I could be wrong, but I'm sticking to that. Okay, so let's throw a curveball in it and do Papi Purio. Such an ugly name for such an ugly kid. He lasted so long in the fight for Demon King, but that's because he's like very snakish and slimy, and he always managed to be under someone's umbrella. Or, well, technically, the first time we saw him, he wasn't under the other guy's umbrella. They were partnered. You can kind of see his hand in this picture. He was partnered with like this little alligator, Mamodo. And both of their human partners were losers, but I can't hold that against them. They, it's just what it is. But Papi Purio wasn't actually very strong. He just had great support abilities, even when he was paired up with Roto, which shows it even greater because Roto was as strong as he was. So Papi Purio in a 1v1, which is really how I'm ranking this, he's not that great, but I have to give him credit because his abilities were effective against higher tier combatants. Like being able to keep Zatch occupied at that level of power. I think that means something. And I can't remember anything offensive really from Papi Purio, but that's probably because I hate him. But I feel like it would be fair to say B tier, and anything lower than that would just be my own bias. So I'm going to put him in B tier. I think Byakuya might be able to beat him. And I'll leave it at that. I appreciate you, Vulture. We're going to get you on Zatch Bell one of these days, Nick. Yeah, man. I think my voice is super morning radio right now. I don't know why. Like more so than usual. Um, Now who should I do next? I'm gonna do Rops because I feel like that might be contentious and it's a little different. This is why I love Zatch Bell, man, because it's like you see so much of these characters being able to fight and who they would do good against and who they would do not so good against. It's pretty easy to come to that conclusion because you see most of them fight. You know, I love that. It's crazy. A battle shonen where most of the characters fight. Uh, Rops. Where's Rops at, man? I'm gonna say Rops could easily be B tier. He doesn't necessarily have a lot of versatility. He could have a lot of versatility though. That's the point. Cause he got these ropes. That's why his name is Rops, I guess. But they get increasingly more and more potent as his spells level up more and more. And if I remember correctly, he had 3 spells that he used. And of course, the first one is just like he got the little ropes with the little hooks on them, and then they get kind of crazy. I think they got like big ass anchors on them at the second level, and then I think that third level is still the anchors, but it's like chain links now instead of ropes. I think that's how it goes. I could be wrong. Um, I could just look it up real quick. See. Rops. Zatch Bell. Apollo is his partner. I love Apollo. Apollo was old. 26. Never would have thought that. Picking on a high schooler. Well, see, I think Kyo was in middle school. But it's different in Japan, though, ain't it? Like middle school and high school ages. But either way, I think it's like 15, 16, maybe. I don't know for sure. See, it says chains on the Zatch Bell wiki. So he does access chains at some point. But why would it say chains as his main ability when he starts off with ropes? I don't like that. Let's see what his spells are. Is there any way to get there quickly, please? Jeez Louise. Rigoron. Dino Rigoron. Oh, that's what it was. Alright, so I'm tripping. The second spell was the one with the chains and steel anchors. So he did have 3 spells. But the third one was just like multiple ropes with the chains. I mean, with the hooks. Multiple ropes with the hooks. And what he did with this, it was kind of stupid. And, I can't just completely glaze him. But he just used it to throw boulders. Which, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I feel like he could do so much more with that. But then again, it's not like we saw so much of him. So, it is what it is. And it's pretty early in the battle. I'm pretty sure he would have gotten a bunch more further down the line. So, considering all that, where would I rank Rops? Can these guys on the tier list deal with those boulders? I don't know, man. I don't know if they can deal with the boulders. Let's see. Rops in comparison to Yopopo, Maroose. Once again, I feel like Maroose is outclassed because hard power is a factor once again, and Rops is much closer to Apollo than Maroose is to his partner. That matters a ton. And I think this is the first instance where I have to take into account the partner's abilities, because Apollo had a very primitive version of Answer Talker. And for anybody watching who might be curious, Answer Talker is something that's very broken. It gives the human partner the ability to envision a problem and be granted the solution, if I remember correctly, is instantly. So, but with Apollo, it's like it was a primitive version, so it wasn't as adept as it was later in the story for Kyo and Dufour. I still don't know which one is the correct way to say his name, but Zeno's partner, Zeon's partner. Once again, two different names. See, that's the trouble with old school anime. It's like the different dubs and different productions. It's like you get mixed up on the names and pronunciations. I don't like it. But Kyo and Dufour, they had the ability to actually be granted vision and understand exactly what they need to do in any given predicament. Whereas Apollo, he just simply had like, it was almost like the Sharingan, where he just have like a brief precognition almost. Sort of akin to Katakuri, but not as crazy as what Katakuri was doing. So that also comes into play with this. And these other guys' partners really don't do nothing. And in the event that Kalulu does have to fight, she loses her senses. And she's no longer as connected to Lori, I believe is her partner's name. So Rops and Apollo got that as well over them. And I mean, I'm not going to put Rops in D tier right now anyway, until we start ranking all these monsters that are on here. Then maybe Rops will get moved down to D tier. But we'll see about that. Yo, what's up, Wilbur Lopez? Appreciate you for coming through. Welcome to my thing got going on over here. So Rops versus all of these guys, he has them beat. Maybe Byakuya and Papi Purio can have something to say about that, because they also had serious connections to their partners as well. But I still think Rops and Apollo were more in tune. In tune with one another. Yeah. So I feel comfortable saying that Rops is considering his skill set. I mean, I'm gonna put him right here, but actually, yeah, because the Answer Talker, or at least the primitive version of Answer Talker, would be big against somebody like Papi Purio, because he's so tricky. Wilbur, I would say that you should read it, but you can watch it, because of course everybody has different tastes, so you might end up absolutely loving the anime. But the only reason I like the anime as much as I do is because of nostalgia. Like, just looking at it from an objective standpoint, it's not really great to me. But the manga is amazing. The manga is one of my favorite things ever. So if you're a guy that has no preference between anime and manga, then I would say definitely go with the manga. But if you prefer anime over manga, then I would suggest give the anime a try. And then if you want to get the full story, you're gonna have to switch over to the manga anyway, because the anime doesn't fully adapt the story. But yeah, I think that's really all I could say about that. And if you care about spoilers, you probably don't want to tune into this, because I will have to talk about these characters in all of their glory and everything that's happening in the story. That's if you care about spoilers. I know a lot of people be like, I don't really care, but I just figured I'd give you a fair warning. So are you rereading Kingdom right now? Man, I've been thinking about that. It's been so long since I read Kingdom. It's almost been 2 years. I was caught up in everything. Then eventually I just completely fell off and never went back to it. But yeah, man, I definitely suggest putting Zatch Bell on the list though. Um, so Rops and Apollo against Poppy Purio and I think his partner's name is Lupa. I think she's pretty dumb. So she's not really an intellectual match for Apollo. And Rops has enough firepower, I would say, to overcome anything Poppy Purio can do. And Baltro, yeah, I actually think the hooks and chains would actually be a good match against the mech. Finally found one. Finally found something that can go against the mech. Even though I put two niggas over him anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna put Rops in B. But over Poppy Purio. But Byakuya I still feel like has enough power. You know, because he got the stretchy thing going on. The tongue is real powerful. I believe he has a beam attack. I could be wrong. And he's another one that's very in tune with his partner, even though I don't think he's as in tune as Rops is with Apollo. But damn, with the answer talker, because I don't think Byakuya has anything that's like a supplementary technique or anything that's like so out of left field where answer talker would even have to come into play. So, or at least not heavily. I hear a buzzing in my ear. I hope that's not heard on the stream. Oh, so it is. Damn it. Oh, it's going away now. It's all good, baby. So ain't no thing. Damn it. Oh, it's going away. Oh, shit. I gotta have the volume up on my phone. I'm doing this the untrained way. Don't know what I'm doing, nigga. You know what? I'm gonna put Rops above Byakuya. Just have him at the top of B. Sugino, I believe is his name. Sugino is another one very early. And he had a decent amount of spells for being such an early opponent. I believe he had the simple vine whip type thing going on. He had the one where the big plants shoot out boulders out their mouths. It's like Venus flytrap shooting boulders out their mouths. Or were they big seeds because it's plant based? I think it was big seeds. But the fact that I thought they were boulders should tell you how big they are. And I think he had like a solar beam type attack too. And I'm almost certain he had more than that, but for some reason I'm drawing a blank. It's been a while since I read it. So, but a variation of abilities shouldn't carry him to C tier, I think. Because I think he was introduced far too early to pose a threat to anybody else above D tier. Well, no, because I think he posed a threat to Marus, Yopopo, maybe not Robe Nose and Boltro, though. I'm going to put him above Kalulu. So he's at the top of D for now. That was easy enough. Raycom, if I remember correctly, he's the very first enemy. Or was he the first after Braco? Can't remember. Well, I guess technically Kane was the first enemy. But he's not a Mamodo, so wouldn't even count him. But all that's irrelevant anyway. Raycom, Ice Powers, wish we could have seen more because Ice Powers are always cool. Does anybody else have Ice Powers in this? Carudio has Ice Powers. Yeah, so never mind. Fuck Raycom. Raycom definitely would be D. Probably under Kalulu because he didn't even have a chance to grow. That's probably the easiest placement so far. This nigga right here, I forgot his name, but he got Earth powers, and I'm biased towards niggas with Earth powers. I'm biased to niggas with Ice powers too, and I put Raycom at the bottom, so I can think. But he was actually introduced at a point where he had a lot going on in his spell book. I think he had like 7 spells. But I always forget his name. He's definitely C tier, just based off of the fact that he has such variation. And even though he was a piece of shit, his partner was a good guy. So I think he had a lot of heart. And once again, that powers up the spell books and makes it so that the Mamodo can use their abilities at their absolute maximum potential. So he should be a match for either one of them. In fact, considering that his attacks were pretty big too, he might even be able to take down Baltro with the mech. I'm trying to think, what were his attacks? I believe he had one that's like where it's like a big earth wall right here and an earth wall right here, and they go like But yeah, he was pretty powerful. I'm gonna put him above Baltro for now. If I get reminded of anything, or if I, feel the need to go back and look at any point in this stream, probably not. For right now, that's cool. I'm not ranking Danny Boy now, but I'm letting y'all know I have a tremendous bias for Danny Boy, and he will not be ranked appropriately. I just gotta let y'all know that. Fane. I'm gonna do Fane. That's his name, right? Fane. So speed demon, literally a speed demon, because Mamodo's demons and his power was speed. Yeah, speed demon. But he was dealt with pretty easily. I think Zatch probably just wasn't a great matchup for him because speed don't mean much to a nigga that can shoot lightning out of his mouth, I guess. And because Zatch had just unlocked a new ability that allowed him to deal with Fane pretty easily. Zigurzum, I believe is the one. That's the magnetic power. He used it on Fane and made him stick to a billboard. So Fane. There it is again. Still there. Alright, it's gone now. Buried in the ground. Fane, where will I I put Fane. Mm-mm. That came back already. What the hell is it? I have no idea what this is. This is ruining the viewing experience. What can I do? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to hold that. Uh, Why does that keep happening? Fane. I feel like his speed might be a problem for a few people on here. Um, Especially if he can figure out Baltro's secret. It might not be too much of a problem for Robnos because he has laser eyes. And I don't know if Fane can outspeed that. If Raycom is smart and Raycom's partner, well, he was robbing a bank, and that's not easy. Well, no, because if you got a little weapon of mass destruction, which he does in Raycom, that could make it a little easier. So maybe he's not smart. Maybe he just had a little weapon of mass destruction, and they was like, "Hey, man, don't hurt us." Yeah. So I was gonna suggest that Raycom would probably be like ice on the floor and make it hard for him to run. But Raycom might not be that smart, and his partner might not be that smart either. And Kalulu probably is just outclassed simply because Fane was introduced after her and posed more of a threat than she did. And I love Kalulu, but gotta be honest, Sugino, once again, the speed I think is too much for him and his plants. Or if he's smart and his partner's smart, he could use the ability to create weeds to trip him up, perhaps. That's assuming he has that ability. I don't even know if he can do that. But I know he can make vines. I know that. So it just depends on what sort of utility that ability has. But assuming that Fane is just outclassing them, I'll go to C and compare him to these guys. Now, figuring out Baltro's secret is not much of an uphill battle. It just depends on how well he can see and if he even thinks to consider it, which he probably will. It's not super crazy. It's just like he has these flowers at different points of the robot that if you attack those flowers, you can disconnect the robot's limbs and make it useless. Which is still so weird to me. I don't know how that works. So Fane might be able to defeat Baltro, especially considering the super speed. It'll make it easier for him. And I don't know how he fares against laser eyes, because his speed might not be able to outdo that. Yopopo and his partner Jim, she's a little girl. So, but Jim seemed like she was smart for her age. So maybe that means something here in terms of coming up with a strategy to defeat Fane. But I might be giving her too much credit. And this guy, I always forget his name. Once again, I don't know his name. I think his arsenal might be enough to overpower Fane. You know, making earth walls. I believe he can even make quicksand. Damn, his bag is pretty deep, man. Let me see. Let me just make sure. What's his partner's name? Shigure? I think his name is Shigure. It's not Shigure. What's the nigga name? What he had earth powers. Gofrey and Renji. Okay, I know who that is. They don't have them on here though. See, Rose. Oh, his name is Shin. See, I looked that up, but I couldn't see it. Rose is his name. So Rose with the Earth going on. See what his spells can do. 2 walls of earth close between the enemy. Close on the enemy, I think is what they mean to say. He can make a shield, which is typical for most Mamodo. He can send shockwaves into the earth, which cause an explosion. That'll definitely help against Fane. Giant stone spikes from the ground. Alright, he shoots giant stone spikes from the ground. That's different from just making spikes come out of the ground. A mud-like substance ensnares the foe. Okay, yeah. So I was right about that. 4 stone cannons that fire boulders. Alright. He got one where you can shatter the ground into giant chunks. That could also disrupt Fane. And he got a spell where he can make a giant snake made out of stone. Wow. That's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I think Fane gets cooked against Rose, personally. So against Robnos, I think it might be a bad matchup, but since I can't confirm that, I'm gonna put him over Robnos. And I already said he could deal with Baltro, but Rose is a problem. I think Rose is gonna be a problem for just about anybody. Well, anybody in this tier, I'll put it like that. Should I do one unconventional now? Like somebody who's definitely S tier? Nah, not S tier. I'm gonna say S tier. I'm gonna do somebody A tier, like Zaruchimon. I believe that's his name, Zaruchimon. I could be wrong. Bear with me. Zaruchim, not Zaruchimon. Make that nigga sound like a Digimon. He was evil. That he was. And he had the powers of darkness, shadow magic, which I remembered. I didn't need the wiki for that. But what were his spells though? I do need the wiki for that. He can use an opponent's own shadow to trap them. Shoots blast of energy through darkness cylinders. Don't know what that means. Shoot arrows made of darkness at the opponent. Okay. Summons 2 darkness daggers that attack the opponent. Like, is that a remote attack, or does he use the daggers himself? Summons a giant darkness sword that attacks the opponent. Summons a shield made out of darkness. Gives Zaruchim darkness scissor-like claws. Summons a giant shadow creature with scythe arms that attacks the opponent. Wow. I don't remember that one. Sounds crazy. Oh. Yeah, I still don't remember it. I'm looking at it and I still don't remember it. This is why it's important to reread. So I probably got the volume sitting over there. He used the strongest spell before the second strongest spell? That's weird. But he's definitely above all these guys. just because of the point of the arc that he was introduced in was to gather as many top ranked Mamodo to be able to unlock this giant right here. It looked like I was circling his crotch. That's awful. This giant right here, Faudo or Faudo. Some people pronounce it Faudo, but I've always called him Faudo. It's Faudo. But considering it's Japanese, it might be Faudo. That sounds like some Japanese thing. So Zaruchim, I keep saying Zaruchimon, is definitely stronger than the rest of these guys, just by virtue of when he was introduced. And I remember him fighting against people who I would definitely have A and S tier. So actually, I don't think he fought anybody that I would have S tier. Yeah, I don't think so. Because there's only going to be a few people in S. And if he did fight somebody that would have an S tier, it's because they got stronger, and that's what made them S tier. So, yeah, I just decided to throw a little monkey wrench into the thing by doing that. I just realized something. I am going to have to rearrange this list because I definitely I'm gonna have to rank Zophis at some point. And I just realized Zophis body and all these niggas, but I don't think he fooling with Zaruchim. So it's gonna have to be a rearranging. I'll do this. Papi Purio finished top 10. So that's why he's ranked how he is. And since I said it, I'm gonna go ahead and put Zophis here. It's at the top of B. And depending on how the rest of the list shakes out, he could be moved to the bottom of A. Zophis just has too much going on for him. He got, he has a lot of utility. He has long range, mid range. Don't think he has any short range capabilities. His body might actually be rather weak, especially considering that he was scared of Brago, like literally afraid of him, which is one of the coolest moments in manga that I've ever seen, by the way. I had to fart. I didn't want y'all to hear that. So Zophis having the abilities that he does and knowing that he was able to reign supreme over as many characters as he did, that's enough for me to say that he belongs in this tier for now by himself. And I would say that he's automatically stronger than all of his subordinates, but that might not even be true because I think the Molt could be able to beat him. But that would make me say, why did the Molt choose to work under him? But then the Molt was an idiot. He was basically an animal. But he ate his partner at a certain point. I can't remember what it was. Like, was it something going on in his mind? I can't remember. Maybe he was faking the whole time. Whatever. We'll get to that later when I talk about the Molt. But Zophis is almost guaranteed to be stronger than most of the other people, like Victorine, Pamoon, Layla, Byakuo, of course, Penny, or Patty. That's another character who has two different names depending on the dub or the manga that you reading. I forgot this nigga name. I think his partner's name is Genbu, but I don't know his name. I forgot it. Let me look at it. I got the wiki open. That's what it's open for. I'm pretty stupid. Oh, that nigga name not Genbu. Oh no, I made it up. How do you spell millennium? I do not know how to spell millennium. I'm just gonna search martial arts and hope that this nigga come up. Oh, so long, so long. I like this nigga too, and I forgot his name. Genso. Genso is his partner's name, and he's voiced by Liam O'Brien. Oh my god, I love Liam O'Brien. Right. Let's see. So Saulon, Pamoon, Layla, Victorine. Not the Demolt, because I don't think Zoph is stronger than the Demolt. Or at least not automatically stronger than the Demolt. Definitely stronger than Penny. So Zophis might remain at the top of B. But I think the Demolt could be justified to be on A tier because of how much it took to defeat him. I might end up having to make another tier though, now that I think about it. I'm make another tier. It's gonna be a S plus. I just thought about it. As strong as Clear Note is, and of course Zatch at the end of series. And I don't think Brago would be ranked with them, personally. I know a lot of people might take umbrage with that. But spoiler alert, he would definitely be top of S. So who am I going with next? Hey, like the stream, baby. You come do like the stream for 1 second. You come do like the stream, baby. Trying to see. I think I got all the super weak guys out of the way. I mean, not super weak, but you know, this nigga. I think it's a girl. I really don't remember nothing she do. I think it's a girl. I don't know. But where would I rank the Panther Demon? I don't even know if she would be over Esros, honestly. Esros' bag is too deep, man. And the only reason Papi Purio here, once again, he made it to the top 10. Gotta give him some type of respect. I hate him. Yeah, and I don't feel like looking her up. Shit, screw that. Coral Q, man, that nigga was powerful. Coral Q, he looked very silly, but he was powerful. Let's see. Should I do Penny next? I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody from those earlier chapters. I feel like they left some people out. I mean, they definitely did, but some people with names. Because there's some people they left out that didn't really have names. Or they did have a name, we just didn't hear it much. They left out Hyde. But that's probably because Hyde was non-canon, but then he was made canon at a certain point. I like when that happens because that just means like somebody created a character outside of the influence of the actual creator, and the creator was like, "Hey man, I like that. I'm taking it." I always thought that was pretty cool. Hmm. I get paranoid sometimes. Um, Penny. I feel like she gotta be in B tier, but I already said she's not beating Zophis. So Zophis is gonna be right here. Penny's right here for now. But we got some people that's gonna be above Penny for sure. Like Layla. You know what I'm thinking about it, man? Layla was so strong. She might be able to beat Zophis. She might be able to beat Zophis. Maybe. And I forgot about Belgium EO. I was thinking Layla was one of the four Mamodo. That was like the elite guard. I gotta take back what I said the other day. I said the elite guard, and no matter what series it is, it could be anime, it could be a movie, whatever it is. Like anytime they give a nigga's crew like the distinction of being elites, them elite niggas are always trash. They don't ever do nothing. But looking at these guys, I mean, they was pretty crazy. Belgium EO burned a nigga's book. That means something. Did the Molt burn a book? I don't think so. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, he did. He burned 2 books, actually. Damn. Byakuya and Penny. Yeah. Victorine was silly. And I think that was just Makoto Raiku's way of avoiding a serious confrontation, considering everything else that he had planned for that arc. Because he probably just couldn't take it anymore, killing all these children. Well, I mean, they don't die. They just go back to the Mamodo world. But you know what it is. Probably still hurts as a creator to see all these little cute kids that you created being sent back like, oh no, I don't want to go. So I think that means something. That also means something for Victorine as well, because that would say that he's too strong to be allowed to do what he's actually capable of doing. I'm gonna have I want to put Layla above Sophis now, man. I'm thinking about it. Like, I think Sophis got by on manipulation and using fear tactics against the people that he reigned over. Zophis looked like a girl, but they call him a he, so I gotta call him a he. Um, yeah, and I don't want to diminish how strong he was, but I honestly feel like Layla, Pamoon, Victorine, Belgamio, and definitely Demolt, I think they could do something to Zophis. Man, because Layla had attacks that were strong enough to affect Demolt, and Demolt is giant. It's incredibly huge, and it took a lot of firepower from a combined effort of Zatch, Tia, Byakuya, Penny, Conchime, and who else was there? Warren Ray was there, but he was knocked out. Oh yeah, Demolt took him out. That's right. He didn't burn his book, but he took him out, which was a crazy moment because they came up the stairs. They like, oh, Warren Ray's here, great, and then he just gets stabbed through his. He was down for the count for the whole fight. Then he came back at the end to burn his book. That was cool. So Demolt is a monster. You know what? I've been glazing the most so much. I'm just go ahead and put him at A, but I think he's gonna end up at the bottom of A because the level of power that they get to after this arc, I think is just a little too much for Demote because it's safe to assume that most people are at least as powerful as Layla was, if not stronger. And Layla was able to affect him so greatly, just from a physical standpoint, that it leads me to believe that the people that we encountered in the Faldo arc would be greater than Layla, and therefore able to handle Demote. And I could be wrong once again, but that's just the way I see things. And the only reason Zophis is here is because of his position in the story. Because I honestly feel like I'm gonna go ahead and rank him. Genso, Pamoon, Victorine. Is Victorine stronger than Pamoon? Maybe. But I think Layla's the strongest out of all them. Outside of Demote. The Millennium Mamodo, I mean. Belgium EO. I think Belgium EO is stronger than Genzo, even though he was pretty impressive. The only reason Zophis is above all these guys is because of the position that he's in, story-wise. Otherwise, I think you can justify at least these four being stronger than Zophis. Maybe not Genso. Even though it's crazy because Genso has the distinction of being with these guys. It's like the four Mamodo guards or whatever. I can't remember. Wait, no. It's not Victorine. It's Pamoon, Belgamio, Genso, and Demote. That's what it is. So Zophis' team was pretty stacked, man, to have these two guys and they're not even considered amongst his elite guard. It's pretty crazy. And shout out Albert, man. Albert with Layla. Oh, you know what? That means something. Albert and Layla were really connected. Like they were one. So I think that's a boost. I'm gonna put Layla above Zophis. Yeah. Anybody else from that era on here? Oh, Kid. I was about to forget Kid. The real Kid. Shout out to Eustace. But this is the real Kid, I'm sorry. He's factually weaker than Belgamio. I can't even argue against that. So, and Genzo being on that level, I think Kid would be weaker than Genzo. But I see Kid being able to deal with Penny. I think Kid got a lot of utility. As you can see, that's one of my favorite words when comparing characters strength-wise. Because I think it matters a lot in the battle. Like, having multiple things that you can go to instead of just being a one-trick pony. Kid got the little miniature versions of himself. He got the little cannon. He got the big cannon. I think he got an even bigger cannon. What else can he do? Don't he have like he can stretch his arms out like Inspector Gadget or something? Like Kid. Hey Bowie. Oh my god, I can't believe you're here for Zatch. That makes me so happy. And I will stream more. And I am a nigga. That's so true. You've never been wrong. Not a day in your life. So I think Kid being against Penny, she just got the water. She got the little water, I think a water whip. A water nene. And then she got a water dragon. I think that's all she got. I could look it up, but I don't feel like it. So I'm just going to say Kid over Penny for now. But because he's factually weaker than Belgamio, he lost to Belgamio with help. It wasn't great help because Conchame was scared and he wasn't nearly as strong as he became. but he still had another nigga there. It was another body. That means something. And he was trying. Contra was trying. And Kid just had like that last Hail Mary while his book was burning. They unlocked that new spell. So that's what got rid of Belgamiyo. But that's not enough for me to say that he's stronger than Belgamiyo. And Belgamiyo was also very silly. But I don't count that in the same way that I counted it against what Victorine does story-wise, because Victorine ended up being like a friend to them, whereas Belgamiyo burned his book, burned Kid's book, so that means something. Let me see. So that's it from that era. Now the guys that were introduced in between arcs, that would be Ted, Coral Q, Earth, assuming that is how you pronounce your name, Carudio, Mamon, I think, Rain, my nigga Rain, man, Rain, Rodo, that's that nigga. I hate him, but that's that nigga. I can't even front. And I feel like I'm missing somebody that was introduced around that time. Oh, they don't have Boozerai on here. Or this Boozerai right here. I thought this was a filler nigga. Maybe this Boozerai. Is that his name, Boozerai? Did I just make that up? Because I made up another nigga's name too. I said Genbu. It was Genso. Let's see, Boozerai. Yeah, Boozerai. Yeah, I didn't make it up. Is that him? That ain't him. His partner's a girl? I don't remember that. That's cool. I like female characters in Battle Shonen because it's like, it feels different to me. Boozerai was pretty damn strong too, man. And he was actually involved. I don't know why they wouldn't have him on here. I mean, I could just use this guy, even though I'm pretty sure this nigga's filler. I've never seen him a day in my life. Not Zeno. I know my cursor is on here, but I just didn't move my mouse. This guy right here. I know this nigga filler. He from the movie. I don't know who this is. Maybe he filler too. Wait. Hold on. That look kind of like Eshros, but I know this is Eshros right here though. So who is this? I wish they had the names on here. I know some of the tier lists have names on the cards. Let me see. I don't know why they got clear note on here twice. Yeah, the Boozerai exclusion bothers me a little bit. I don't get it. But I'm gonna start with ranking Coral Q. Coral Q was a problem, like a really serious problem. Matter of fact, I think Zatch got a power up after that. Not anything like really that you can call to, like be like, oh, you got a new spell. But I think Zatch just grew from that because it was such a challenge. Coral Q was something else though, man. His partner was a little dweeb, but he was a cool guy. He was smart. They were a match made in heaven. Can't even hate on them. But is he beating Demote? I don't think so. Demote just got too much going for him. He's huge, very powerful, probably even more powerful than his size would indicate. And getting big ups from Brago means something, because Brago was on the way to fight Zophis, and he was like, but that guy over there, I want to fight him. That was cool. I like stuff like that. So Demote, he got points. Demote got some serious points. Coral Q. think he's good right there. He's good right there. Now let's go to who did I have? Roto, Rain, Yarth, and Ted. I think I'll rank. Oh, Carudio was introduced in too. I'm gonna rank Carudio. Carudio is very strong. A much better version of Raycom. They both have ice powers. And he pushed Ponygon to the max. I know a lot of people watching this would say Umagon, but I grew up watching the English dub, and it was always Ponygon. Let me get some water. I feel like my voice is kind of. I'm pretty stupid. I thought I was outside of the view of the camera, but you can see me the whole time, so I'm sticking my hand out like a dumbass. Carudio, Ponygon, and Carudio. Um, that's what I be talking about with Zatch Bell, man. Like rivals. Like there's niggas on here that's really rivals, and I love that. And Ponygon is like third or fourth in the main character lineup. Cause I mean, Zatch is obvious, right? Cause he's the main character. Well, him and Kyo, but we talking about Mamodo specifically. And then after that, it's either Brago and Tia, and then Conchame, then Ponygon. I think that's how I would rank it, as far as importance of the characters. And then Juan Ray, of course, can't forget Juan Ray. But the reason I didn't mention Juan Ray is because he wouldn't be before any of them, and I was talking about where Ponygon ranks specifically. So no Juan Ray exclusions. You know, just have to make that clear. I love Juan Ray, one of my favorite characters. Coral Q. Oh no, I was on Carudio. So Carudio is over Coral Q just because I could be wrong, but I think Carudio was introduced after Coral Q. And that matters in Zatch Bell, I think, more than most stories, because it's literally a tournament based series where all the characters could potentially fight and meet up at some point. Meet up and fight at some point. And because they're eliminated, you know, they get stronger and stronger as they go on. So, you know, sometimes there's a little bit of pushback when that argument is used in different series, but I think more than any series, Zatch Bell would be like the pinnacle of that, where characters introduced really indicates how strong they are. And it's even said in the story, like, damn, if he made it this far, how strong is this guy? So Carudio, I believe, could be ranked over Coral Q just based off of that. But if you want to get into the specific matchups, I don't remember if Coral Q is portrayed as an actual robot or if he's an organic life form that just so happens to mimic like different aspects of robotics. And what I mean by that is like, would the ice powers of Carudio affect him in the terms of like bothering his circuitry? If it does get that deep, then I believe that definitely gives Carudio the win. But if not, then you're still dealing with a nigga that can turn you in ice. Not turn you into ice, but freeze you. So I feel like Carudio over Coral Q makes sense. Now Carudio versus Demolt. Demolt is a totally different beast because you would have to be able to contain him if you're gonna go the freezing route. But I can't remember Carudio making that volume of ice ever. Even when he was in the lab, I think he froze the entire room, but would that be equal to the total volume of the Demolt? I don't know because he's just that damn big. But then again, Carudio, I'm thinking about prior to the Faudo arc beginning, and Carudio is involved in that arc. So I believe that you would have to give him credit the same way that I gave Zeruchum credit in the way I was thinking about everybody else in that arc. So maybe he would rank up to Demolt in that sense. Because having that level of power, it would pay many dividends going up against a guy like Demolt who's all power. You know what? I'm going to put Carudio over Demolt. But I don't think I'll put him over Zeruchum just because of the betrayal that Zeruchum has. Because it seemed like he was sort of like Leo's right hand. Speaking of Leo, I think, I'm going to keep to the theme of ranking the niggas that were introduced before Faudo. So, next, I'll do Mamodo, who is actually not very strong as a fighter. But he has a lot of utility. He's like a better version of Papi Purio. And I'm so happy that I can say that because I hate Papi Purio. The name, his ugly face, his powers are pretty stupid. And he does nothing. Nothing. So, yeah, what's good, baby? Damn, Trent not a moderator? What? That must mean you never came through. Cause I can't imagine I wouldn't have made you a moderator off top. But yeah, I'm still alive. How long has it been? Oh, it's been over an hour. I got 5 likes. Hey man, that means something. I hope you was one of them, Trent. Let me see. If you're wondering why I'm looking down while I'm talking, it's because I don't know how to make it so I can have the stream up on my screen while I'm screen sharing my browser, and I don't want to like go back and forth on my browser because I feel like that'll be a messy viewing experience. So I'm just having the chat open on my phone. So that's why I'm looking down, because I'm looking at my phone to see the chat. For anybody that was wondering. I always thought Fango looked a lot like Pa Moon. Like maybe they brothers. That really don't make sense because Pa Moon was alive 1,000 years ago. Just a random thought. Side note. But Mamodo. Where would I rank Mamodo? I could easily justify B. I don't know about A though. But his powers, he like a combination of Luffy, Foxy. What else does he do? He can fly. Mamodo is useful too, especially as a support character. But I don't remember him being very physically strong. I don't remember anything that would give that indication. So I might put him lower. Because Belgamiyo and Genso definitely physically strong. Put him in B. I'll put him in B. Right here in B, because I already had him in B. After that, I gotta stop smacking my lips when I talk. I'm sounding like Shannon Sharp. No offense to Shannon Sharp. Sorry. I'm gonna do Roto next. Evil nigga. He's at least A tier, and I'm not counting the boost that he got from the Faudo sales, because I don't like counting like the supplementary things that exist outside of a person's strength, natural strength. I don't like doing that when I do tier rankings. Now, if I was to separate it and be like this version of Roto and this version of Roto, then that would be different. But just Roto, I'm only talking about Roto on his own. And with that in mind, he's very strong. I think he might be stronger than Coral Q. And considering what he was recruited for, along with Zaruchim, I think he would have enough firepower to deal with Demolt. But he might have problems with Crudio and Zaruchim. But Roto is a problem though, man. He can fly naturally because he got them wings. He don't even need a spell for that. He got long range capabilities. He's a strong physical fighter, so he got the short range hand to hand, mid range, because I believe he does have a spell where his wings extend. Hell, that. So mid range. We got sprinklers out here, dude. I guess we do. Shit, I hope it ain't no nigga out there. So Roto's capabilities, he got a lot going on for him. I'm gonna go. Should he be over Crudio? Crudio's a problem. I'm gonna keep him right here. And next, I'm gonna do Earth, another one who's very strong. He was also introduced in that between stage from the Millennium Mamodo and Faudo. And because he can fight people on this level, that gives him the firepower to deal with somebody like Demolt. So he's right here. But would he be stronger than Roto, Crudio, and Zaruchim? He was placed with Crudio. And it seemed like they go hand in hand in their role that they played in that arc. So having them kind of next to each other makes sense in my mind, because I don't believe either one of them showed any sort of capabilities that would indicate that they're much stronger than one or the other. So that leads me to believe that they're definitely in the same tier, but should they be next to one another? I think so. But Yarth's capabilities, having the sword magic, the ability to make swords. If I remember correctly, it's similar to Katakuri's Galactic Donuts, where he can conjure swords remotely. And I know he definitely has that one where it brings the giant sword, like a downward slash, and that could catch niggas off guard, because that's a remote ability. It's not coming from his body, and if you don't know it's coming, then more than likely it'll hit you, because it's very fast, it's very huge, and it packs a punch. So, or packs a slash rather. Oh God. I feel comfortable with this placement. Actually, I think I'm gonna have him over Carudio and over Zaruchim too. Actually, well, now that I think about it, because that wasn't the end for Yarth. He went on to to the final arc, so he might even be S tier. I'm gonna keep him at the top of A for now. I'll come back to this. Let's see. Now that leaves Rain and Ted. I'll do Rain first. Now Rain, even though his position in the story would indicate that he's like on the same level with these guys, but he absolutely bodied Roto. So there would have to be a decent amount of separation between the two. He didn't burn Roto's book though. Roto got away. But I think he did that with the help of Papi Purio. So Rain top of A, might be S just like Earth, but once again I'll come back to that once I try to compare him to others, which would be hard because we don't see him fight anybody else but Roto. But that was such a body bag. That's ridiculous. And Zatch was there too. I don't want to just like make it sound like Rain just put the work in on his own, because even though Zatch had his hands full trying to fight against Papi Purio and Roto, so he didn't really have the opportunity to wear Roto down so much to where it affects the outcome of the battle that greatly. But at the very least, Rain has to be at the top of A, because his attack power is just ridiculous, and he's huge. I don't think he's the size of Demote. He's definitely not the size of Demote. Let me take that back. But he is bigger than just about anybody else on this list. Maybe not Belgamio, because Belgamio is huge too, even though he's sitting down in the chair all the time. I remember they was assuming that because he was in the chair, he couldn't get up. But then he stood up and hit him with the chair. Oh, man. Zatch Bell's funny. So, yeah, I feel comfortable having Rain that high. And I wish it could have went differently, where we got to see him in the Faldo arc. Because if he was able to grow, he would have been a front runner for King of the Mamodo world. I think he definitely makes it to the top 10. But then again, I would have said the same thing about Barry. But that's a totally different circumstance. So it's not like Barry was too weak to make it. Which I don't think the audience is going to be like Zatch Bell. Full of Zatch Bell niggas like, oh, you tripping. But I got a hot take maybe. I got to see what people say. I'm gonna say that. Ted is next. So Ted is another character that was introduced in that in-between phase. I think he's the last. It was Mamodo, Coral Q, Roto, Carudio, Earth, and Rain. And thinking of this way makes me give Zatch Bell even more credit, because I'll be thinking that it wasn't really nothing in between the two arcs, but that's a lot. Because you got Coral Q. I think that fight was like 6 or 7 chapters. I believe Rain came after that. And that wasn't just a fight. It was getting introduced to him, Kyle, their whole situation, and then the fight with Roto and Papi Purio. I believe that whole little thing, you can really call that an arc in itself. That was probably like 12 to 15 chapters. What else happened? Oh yeah, Ted and Earth was fighting. That probably lasted for about 15 chapters. Man, Zatch got a lot of content, man. There's a lot going on in Zatch Bell. Oh yeah, and then Carudio and Ponygon, they had their fight, which is probably like 6 to 7 chapters. And of course, my mom got introduced, but it wasn't a fight. He was just being silly, being scared, acting like he didn't want to get involved, which, I mean, he didn't want to get involved, but nigga, we need you to get involved. So get your ass involved. Did I forget anybody? Leave anybody out? No, I didn't. Yeah, everybody's name got mentioned. So that was a lot of content in between the Millennium Mamodo and the Faldo arc. I don't know how many chapters that was in total. It's probably like 35 to 40. Probably. Ted. Ted has the gears, and he was actually introduced before Luffy used the gears in One Piece. So, an interesting fact. So, he's the original Gear Man. He got first gear, second gear, third gear, and I think the fourth gear makes him like God mode, where he just be like, and like hitting niggas crazy. I don't remember the name of the nigga that burnt his book. I don't remember his name, but he was obviously strong because he burnt his book. Or maybe not though. Maybe he used trickery. I can't recall. And I think he had the Faldo cells too, man. I hate that type of thing in stories where like the villains are already pretty damn strong, and then they'd be like, "Oh, use this," and then it's a little crummy nigga giving them something like making them stronger. I can't stand that. But it worked out because it made for a great moment with Ted. He was like, "Your mama take care of you, nigga." That's basically what he told him before he bodied him. So Ted is definitely an A tier. This is information based on Zatch Bell 2, but he was with Rain and Cherish, and that leads me to believe that he can be compared to Rain, and Cherish can be compared to them, because I wouldn't assume that Cherish is stronger than them. And it's not because she's a woman. That's not what I'm saying. I think it's just because they simply showed more firepower than Cherish did. So I would say that she can be compared to them as opposed to the other way around. And since that's the end of the in-between introductions, I might as well get to the Faldo introductions and start with Cherish, since I mentioned her. Now, Cherish's abilities are pretty straightforward. Literally, she's a sniper, and she summons a gun that shoots crystallized ammunition of varying degrees of potency. She's pretty damn strong. Especially, once again, she was recruited to break the lock on Faldo. And to do that, you have to have a spell of a certain class. I think it's Gigano. I think it's the Gigano class. So that puts her in the same tier of firepower as Rodo, Zeruchim, One Ray. Automatically, without even getting into a comparison of how they actually clashed. Who did she fight? I know she was involved in the fight against Zeno. He got two different names. Once again, I hate it. And she was important in that fight, but I could have swore she fought somebody before that. Maybe she fought One Ray, now that I think about it. You know, they were on the same side. Never mind. I can't remember. She probably didn't fight anybody before that. But still, she had her showings. She was impressive. But would she be able to beat Rodo? I don't know. I do have her above the Molt because, once again, having that Gigano class spell, that's a lot of firepower. And I believe that's enough to deal with the Molt. So, I know it's kind of dark in here. You probably can't tell. My finger is not in my nose. It's on my nose. My finger is on my nose, not in my nose. I will have Cherish right there in between Demolt and Roto. Because Roto in his base form is very strong. And he got even stronger leading into the Faudo arc. But I still, like, just thinking about Rain, man, he's too good. Like, when I think about him, it's like that Mr. McMahon meme, man. Like, he puckered his lips, that nigga. That's how I feel when I think about Rain. So Cherish right there in between Demolt and Roto. That feels right. But I feel like you can make an argument for her being stronger than just about anybody on this list so far, except for maybe Rain. And I did say E. Arthur was gonna go higher because he did go past this point in the story. I think he was in the top 10. I think he was at the end of the story, like one of the final 10 Mamodo. And look at Poppy Purio, bitch ass. He made it to the top 10 too, but he in C because he's ass. Ass. Oh my god, look at his face. I hate this little nigga. So who would I rank next? I think I'm gonna get the henchmen out of the way. They only got 2 of them on here, which bothers me because it was like 4 or 5 of them. Wait, no, Zeruchum is one of the henchmen too, so he counts. Oh yeah, Roto was too, and so was One Ray. Made it seem like One Ray was a traitor, man, but then and they showed Leanne was in trouble. Oh my god, Leanne! Oh no! Oh, I should have known One Ray wouldn't go trade on niggas like that, man. One Ray is a real nigga, stand up nigga. Martial arts, he disciplined, got everything going on, muscles and whatnot. Tall nigga. He don't be bullying the kids like Brago do, but he could. That's a nigga with a heart. You know what? I left Danny Boy all this time. Let me go ahead and get Danny Boy out the way. It's total glaze. I know he not fooling with none of these niggas that's an A tier, but Danny Boy's an A tier. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. That's just how I feel. That's how I feel about Danny Boy. It is what it is. You know what? I'm gonna be fair. I'm putting him at the bottom of A. Put him at the bottom of A. And you know, I'm gonna try to give a logical explanation for this. Okay, so Danny Boy is one of the older Mamodo. He's clearly teenaged, whereas I think the majority of Mamodo are in between like 4 and 10. But it actually matters because the majority of the Mamodo that are portrayed to be teenage are typically a lot, I wouldn't even say a lot stronger, but they're just a lot more adept at combat. They're a lot more prepared to be in those situations. And Danny is no exception. Got Brago, One Ray, Roto, Earth, Rain, Barry. I believe Leo is that age too. Maybe Zeruchum. And Genzo. Like all of them. They all very clearly, Keith, they all very clearly have that going for them. So, oh yeah, Keith was a henchman too. I forgot. One of Leo's henchmen. That nigga Leo had a squad, man. It's crazy. So I said Zophis had a squad. Leo had a squad. So, considering that Danny falls into that category of Mamodo, and he was very strong physically. Well, he actually wasn't that strong physically because he couldn't move that tanker. That was part of the reason why his book got burned, wasn't it? Am I tripping? I think just about anybody else on this list would have been able to do that. Well, not on this list, but in the A tier. Like Rain, Demolt, Roto, Ted, Earth. Crudio, I think. Coral Q. Maybe even Cherish because she scales to these guys. Zaruchim. He probably need his magic to do it, but still. So you know what? But Danny, the one spell he had was the regeneration spell, and I think it heals him completely too. So yeah, it does because even when he was all tattered from the gunshots and everything, the old man used the spell to heal him, and it was he was completely healed. I think his clothes even got fixed. Um, Wait, that made me think: is it regeneration or is it like time reversal? Localized time reversal, obviously, because it only works on him. Localized. Did I use that word right? I hope I did. Because I'd feel very stupid. I'd look stupid if I didn't. Well, no, I would look stupid if I didn't address it. I addressed it. I don't know if I used the word correctly. Somebody help me. So, just to be fair, I'm going to say Danny is in B tier. But over Zophis because I hate Zophis. I think that's the only. I think that's the last heart pick. Nobody else gets heart from me. I'm sorry. So let me get the henchman out of the way. Like I said, this guy, I forgot his name. I forgot what he even does. He got to be over the mold because I already established that. He's one of them niggas that was recruited to break that lock. That means a lot. Gigano class spell and being able to affect the battle involving Zeon, Zatch, Conchame, all these guys who proven as battle participants. Tio was there as well. Tio, that's another character who has two different names depending on where you read or where you watched. But considering that he has no importance, I feel comfortable putting him below the rest of those guys who were on that level. Now, after that, I'll go Fango. Fango is a fan favorite, and I don't understand why. I mean, he has a pretty cool design, and he used fire. I know people love fire powers. So maybe that's why he's a fan favorite. But gotta be over the moat. Once again, I explained that. And he looks cooler than this ugly nigga. So, yeah, I'm gonna have Fango here. Because I don't think he's stronger than Cherish. I don't think so. Carudio will probably beat him too because his ice might overpower his fire. Carudio just that nigga, I'm sorry. And I will have to place ER in a different tier because once again, I think I said this twice already, but just reiterating that this will not be his final placement. He will be higher than this. Because he went on from that tier of power in the story to the next arc where he had proven himself before that to grow. So it makes sense that he would be on that next tier of power. Keith. I believe Keith may have been the most influential from Leo's team. Him, Zaruchim, and Rodo, because Rodo was introduced before this arc. But I'm going to put him above Zaruchim simply because of the fact that he has the clout of being a rival to Barry. Even though Barry absolutely bodied that nigga, even in a supercharged version, because he also took the Faldo cells. And that should tell you how strong Barry is. And he did it to beat Barry, if I remember correctly. But Barry still thrashed that nigga. Oh my god, I love Barry so much. Oh my god, please don't do this to me. He's another one, man. When I think of him, it's Vince McMahon. Like, lips puckered, cut it like that. Barry. Oh my god, look at him. Look at him. Look at this nigga. Oh my god, like he look like an anthropomorphic ant, but I love him. But yeah, Keith, I think is the most important and influential among the guard of Leo. So that's why I put him where I do, above Zeruchum, Roto, Cherish, Fango, the ugly nigga. I don't know his name. I'm not about to look him up. I don't care about him. But I gotta give him his props because he was where he was for a reason. Oh, and I did say I would use this guy as a stand-in for Buzurai, and I'm gonna keep to that. So, this nigga was actually very strong. Buzurai was not this nigga because I don't know who this is. I'm just using him as a stand-in for Buzurai. If I'm gonna put Keith above Zeruchum, then I have to put him above him too because they fought side by side. And Keith was lucky to not have his book destroyed. I can't remember if it was luck or if it was something that they actually timed properly to not have his book be destroyed. But Buzurai did have his book destroyed from the same attack. Excuse me. That Keith was able to avoid. Well, he didn't avoid the attack, but he avoided having his book destroyed by the attack. He got hit. He took it, which is another reason why Keith is so impressive. Actually, you know what? Keith got enough clout to be separated from Buzurai, even though they were put next to each other in that way. So I'm gonna put Buzurai right here in between Cherish and Roto. Yeah, that makes sense. Who else we got? Got Raya. Do I want to rank Raya before Leo? I think so. I think I'll rank Raya before Leo. And Raya, once again, he's going toe to toe with these levels of characters. I believe he fought Fango and Zeruchum at the same time. I really don't remember any feats directly, but he was very strong. He's very strong. I don't know if I put him over Roto. Carudio, I love Carudio. So even though I don't remember specifically what Raya was capable of, I don't want to put him up above Carudio or Roto. I think this is a good placement. But Raya had a pretty impressive back. I think he had the shield spell. I believe he had an enlarging spell. Or was the shield like a projected version of himself? And that would make me think he had an enlarging spell. But that's pretty cool though. I like that. It's a cool factor. And these little holes in his chest, it doubled as like a machine gun. I think that's very cool. Oh, the enlarging thing was his horn. Like the horn on his head can get bigger and like hit niggas. It's pretty basic, but it was effective from what I remember. I'm gonna go ahead and rank Faldo. He's not fair. Faldo's S tier. He's literally the size of a mountain. He's a living mountain. And he can destroy Japan. So S tier. Easily. Now Leo, Barry, One Ray, I think is what and Xeon too. I have to get them out of the way before I move on to in-game characters. I'm gonna do Leo first because I like him the least. And he was the leader of the group. And not only that, but he did display a lot of power. So I feel comfortable having him here in between Earth and Rain. But I think Rain could still beat him. They have a similar power. Because both of their spells seem to be directly influenced by their lineage. I think they're both from the Beast clan, which is something in Zatch Bell that I wish would have got expounded upon, like the different clans from the Mamodo world. But just judging by their physique and the motifs that surround their character design, you can come to the conclusion that that's where they hail from. And in the usage of their spells as well, because with Rain, it's like he got the slashing attacks. He got the one spell where it's like it's a shield, but it looks like the mouth of a gigantic demon, and it like comes out of the ground like this. Yeah, and it like forms a dome. He probably got the best shield spell in the series. Matter of fact, see, I was talking about his offensive capabilities earlier, but that shield, not only is it a dome, so it's just like Tia's shield. Well, one of Tia's shields because she got multiple shields, but it also doubles as an attack as well because it closes in with the fangs like at the top like that. Rain is crazy, man. Like once again, Vince McMahon, nigga. Um, but Leo has similar spells to that. Um, Leo's crazy too, man. But that should be expected because he was like the main villain before Zeno came through. I gotta say both names. I don't want nobody come in like, man, it's this one. Why you say that one? I said them both. I'm clear. But Leo / Rio, that's another one. But that's different because I think that's a romanization issue. Once again, I don't know if I used that word correctly. I think I did, romanization, because it's like the way that things are pronounced in different languages and different cultures. I think that's what that entails. So in one translation, it might be Leo. In another translation, it might be Rio. But he was pretty damn strong. So I feel like that right there near the top of A, I think that's a good placement for him. Now One Ray. Since One Ray's story ends in this phase of the story. Excuse me. But One Ray has a lot going for him. He doesn't actually have a ton of utility, but being an adept martial artist while having such tremendous firepower and different ways to employ that firepower, he can power up his fist, his kicks. I believe he has a beam attack, or it might be like a ball of energy that shoots out like a Hadoken, I think. But I know he has like the gigantic lion attack that he does. Not lion, it's like a white tiger, like a big buff ass white tiger. And it's always been pretty powerful. And he also has the attack where I think he can like kind of summon the claw of that giant white tiger, and he like brings it down on niggas, I believe. Could be tripping, but One Ray is very powerful. I don't think anybody watching this would dispute that. And more powerful than Ted, I think that's safe. Maybe not Earth, but I'm gonna end up moving Earth anyway. And I don't think One Ray is more powerful than Leo. I don't think so. So right now, I think that's a good place for One Ray. 2 clear notes. That's crazy. Could you imagine? Jeez. Who did I say was next? Oh yeah, it's got to be Barry and then Zeno. So Barry, controversy incoming. Barry's S tier. He's S tier because this nigga right here, he's not very much weaker than anybody that's ahead of him in this state, except for maybe Rain and maybe Leo. But he gets a super maxed out state from the Faudo cells, when they get taller, stronger, and all that. But Barry still absolutely demolishes him, and I'm talking about it's not even close. Like whatever you think is the greatest body bag in manga history, this nigga did that to him in a more powerful state than this. And in that more powerful state, he might have been stronger than anybody else here. We may never know. But Barry made such quick work with him that I feel like that justifies him being in a whole nother tier. But of course, Barry's not stronger than Faudo. That's just not, we got to be realistic. So that's my ranking for Barry. And then Zeon, he will also be an S, but above Barry, because he got the main antagonist of the arc going. He's Zatch is equal, if not better, and Zatch has to surpass him. And surpass him he did. That's my little nigga Zatch. But Zeno was just a problem, man. Anything Zatch could do, Zeno was doing better. He was like Katakuri to Luffy. Zeno, man. Wow. It's a problem. It's a very serious problem. So who do I want to grab next? I think that's it for the Faudo characters. Oh no, Elzador, because we were introduced to Elzador through Barry's flashback, and that's another reason why I have Barry as strong as he is, because Elzador is the younger brother of Ashiron, and Ashiron is like a top 5 character in the series, and I don't think there should be any arguments about that. But I guess I'll see if there's any Zatch fans that watch this and want to disagree. But they hail from the Dragon Clan, and according to the lore of Zatch Bell, the Dragon Clan is the strongest within the Mamodo world. And there was apparently a Q&A between the author and random fans. It's kind of like an SPS situation where somebody asked Makoto Raikou, the author of Zatch Bell, had any of Zatch's ancestors before his father been the king of the Mamodo world? And Makoto Raikou responded by saying, no, Zatch and his father were the only two from their bloodline to be king. And prior to that, most of the kings, most of the people that won the battle to become king belonged to the Dragon Clan. So they have a tremendous lineage, and not only that, but we actually see just how threatening they are in the story, because before we even see what they're capable of, they're touted to be among the 4 geniuses of the Mamodo world, along with Zeon, Brago, and then it's Ashiron and Elzador. And we know how strong Zeon is. Zeno. You know what? I'm just gonna call him Zeno. I'm tired of saying both names. It just sounds so silly. So we know how strong he is, and we know how strong Brago is. So for them to be in the same class as them, for Ashiron and Elzador to be in the same class as Brago and Zeno, and Ashiron actually lasted in the battle to become king longer than Zeno did, and his younger brother. Elzador is the younger brother of Ashiron. Ashiron lasted longer than Elzador and Zeno did. Not longer than Brago, but we'll get to that. So knowing that Elzador hails from that lineage, and he's relative, at least in portrayal, to somebody like Zeno and somebody like Brago and his own older brother, that alone could place him at the top of A. But on top of that, he is the reason for Barry being as strong as he is, because Barry defeated him, but he had the most extreme fight ever, which this should tell you that I'm able to be impartial, is it was off screen, and I hate it. I hated that it was off screen. Even though we saw like little hints of the fight, we didn't see the whole thing, and that bothers me. That bothers me so much. I believe we should have actually seen the entirety of that fight, because not only is it just like, food, like feed me, nigga, but it would actually mean a lot for the development of Barry's character to be able to see how the fight goes. And we saw the end where Elzador was not only accepting of his loss, but it seemed like he was grateful to Barry. He was like, "Man, what you crying for? You did your thing, man. Go ahead. I see you shining." Like that's basically what he said to the nigga, and Barry was crying. He was, and Elzador is talking like this while his book is burning. He like, "Man, go on, do your thing, man. You might become king." And then he just went back to the Mamodo world. Like Elzador was that nigga. We didn't actually get to see much of it, but Elzador was that nigga. So reputation, um, portrayal, being compared to them niggas, and being responsible for creating the monster that is Vincent Barry. Elzador is just, you gotta give it to him. Gotta give it to him. Now we're into the end game, which includes guys like Brago, Gorm, Conchime, Ponygon, Tia. This a filler nigga. I don't know him. Zatch Bell, of course, my nigga, my goat, my MC. A Chiron, who's gotta be top 5 in the story. Clear Note is 2 Clear Notes, and I don't know who this is. He looked like Eshros, but this is Eshros right here. So what the hell is going on? You know what? I'm just gonna put him here, right next to Eshros. Maybe Eshros. 2 Eshros. Why not? Why not? Who's gonna stop me? Not you. Where do I want to start here? I'm gonna start with Gorm because I like him the least, even though I like Gorm. Now Gorm is pretty broken. Gorm has the ability to create portals, and by using his portals, he can basically ignore durability by like opening portals on something or someone and closing them. It's pretty broken. It's pretty broken. That's how he was able to defeat Earth. And this is the point where I move Earth up because he made it to that level, the final stage of the Mamodo battle, as a strong combatant. I know people are going to say, but what about Papurio? Papurio, you said he was top 10 in the Mamodo battle too, but he's ass. So he's not going to be considered with Earth and a nigga like Brago, Zatch, Conchime, and all that. So, but Gorm has to be ranked above Earth. And even though I don't want to say it, he might be stronger than Barry. He might be stronger than Barry. But I'm not putting him over Barry. Now after that, I want to say Ponygon. Ponygon was rivals with Carudio. I've already mentioned this. But because he made it to this level and got extensive training to participate in the battle against this ungodly force of a thing, Clear Note, oh my god, like a walking weapon of mass destruction. Ponygon will be ranked higher, maybe even higher than Gorm, even though Gorm is entirely broken. Ponygon has the ability to summon armor upon himself, and he grows in size and musculature. Not only that, but he can conjure flames. He can conjure flames, and his flames are very powerful. It led to prior to the final arc, when Carudio was introduced, they were clashing. Carudio's ice, Ponygon is fire, and it's like an extreme diff fight, you know. They went crazy. Sunbeam posing groovy, doing this thing. That's one of my favorite fights from the series. Ponygon, man. Ponygon. I like Ponygon better. Sorry, that's just my childhood. Ponygon. I feel like that's a good place for him. I don't want to put him above Barry because Barry was just that strong, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. Some people don't see it that way, but he just... Now, do I want to say Conchime next? Let's say Conchime next. All right. Shin Peruk is absolutely ridiculous. It's basically, like, perfect hypnosis, but it actually affects a person physically, or at least it has the potential to, because he didn't actually do it at any point because he's not evil. But being that powerful and looking this goofy, it should be illegal. But even outside of that, he has the ability to make clones, and I don't know if his clones are stronger than him or if they're as strong as him, and they just, they pump each other up so they're able to use the full potential of Conchame. I think that's what it is. So, yeah. Conchame, man, he was too much, man. Conchame was everything. And aside from that, he had the ability to transform into things. He could make himself smaller, project a larger version of himself. And in the sequel series, he got a different power that's even more ridiculous. Oh my god, it's not more broken than Shin Peruk, but it's pretty crazy. I don't want to say it just in case people watching this haven't got to Zatch Bell 2 yet, even though I kind of already said some things from Zatch Bell 2, but I didn't spoil even close to everything that's happened in the story yet. So I'm gonna keep that to myself. But Conchame is very powerful, and he might be stronger than Barry, as much as it hurts me to say that. I don't know if he's stronger than Zeno though. I don't know. And I don't think anybody on here is stronger than Faudo. Faudo is just he's made to be what he is. So gotta give him that respect since he's on the tier list. Next, I'll do Asheron. I'm gonna save Zatch for last because he's the main character. Do Asheron, and he's S plus. He's S plus. I think he's a rare example of somebody that might be able to affect Faudo. Because his dragon scales are the only thing that can withstand the magic of Clear Note. Man, Asheron is crazy. It's so many characters in the story where I'm just like, oh my god. You just gotta throw your hands up, man. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. S plus. And I believe he showcases firepower that would be similar to a Bowser Kirga, maybe. What are his techniques? He got the claw spell where his claws get bigger and more dangerous. And of course, just his natural strength is enhanced, which is already crazy. He got the spell where he becomes like a spear. Like his wings get hardened and the little pointy things get sharper, and he just come ramming into you. Like, Asheron's that nigga, man. I shouldn't have to explain it because anybody watching this probably seen it, or if you haven't seen it, you probably don't really care. But I think he can affect Faudo, so that's why I got him S plus. So who we got? I'm gonna do Tia next. I don't think anybody on Team Zatch is stronger than Asheron, aside from Zatch and maybe Brago. So that's why I got Tia, Conchame, and Ponygon, even though they lasted past Asheron. That's why I got them in the S, and Asheron is S plus. Asheron just showed too much. He carried too hard in that fight against Clear Note. And Braco was involved in that fight, by the way, so that should let you know people who haven't even seen Zatch Bell would know or have an idea of who Brago is and understand that saying that somebody's stronger than him or was more impressive than him in any situation is a big deal. And Asheron has that distinction. So it feels justified having him here in S plus. Now after that, I'll do Clear Note. Now Clear Note is just blatantly stronger than Asheron. Clear Note has this thing called Annihilation Magic, which is utterly ridiculous. He basically can do the same thing as Gorm, but more efficiently, because he doesn't have to like adjust the placement of his techniques, where Gorm has to actually know exactly where he wants to put his portals and close them in a very specific manner to be able to ignore the durability of whatever he's attacking. But Clear Note can just say, well, his partner can say the name of a spell, and wherever Clear Note's pointing, it's just get out of here. The only thing that can withstand it is Asheron's skills. And maybe Zatch's cape. I can't remember. But Clear Note's just that powerful, and he gets more powerful than you see him in this form. And this is the form he used when he drawed against Asheron, Brago, and Zatch. Because it was a draw. Neither team won, although Asheron did end up having his book destroyed. So next I'll do Brago. And I don't think Brago ever surpassed Clear Note. I don't think he did. But Clear Note was made to be as strong as he was. But Brago reigns supreme over just about anybody else. He's the bully of the Mamodo world. Zophis, who seems like he doesn't really bother with the notion of something like fear. Zophis feared Brago. So that says a lot about Brago's reputation and the potential that he has for destruction. And just getting into the nitty gritty of what he actually displayed. In that final battle against Clear Note, he had moments where he looked like he could match him finally, even though he got bodied the first time around. But then, of course, Clear Note just continued to ascend further and further in power. So I feel like it's safe to say that Brago surpassed Asheron, even though that's not solidified. Or maybe it is and I just forgot. It's been a while since I read it. So Brago definitely belongs in this tier. And now it's for the Don Dada, the man himself. Main character attacks. Not really, because he showed it. He surpassed everything, man. Golden Gash. Konjiki no Gash. The Golden Spellbook. Some people say it was an ass pull. I say that maybe you just weren't paying attention. Zatch has built goodwill with every single person he's come across, even the people who he defeated, and they return to the Mamodo world thinking that Zatch was an idiot, a fool, or misguided, or just plain wrong. Like, what else? What else could it be? And the magic of the Zatch Bell universe has always been pretty loose. It was never so ironclad. The rules of the power system were something like his book being given the capability of conjuring the spirits of all the other Mamodo that have been defeated and are at the mercy of Clear Note in that moment, because Clear Note's goal is to destroy everything, and the rest of the Mamodo are in a suspended state where their souls are rendered incapable of doing just about anything, except I think they were able to talk to one another. I can't remember, but they were just floating around like in little white ghastly balls. But I believe they could still communicate. But Zatch was the only thing standing between Clear Note and his goal of complete annihilation of everything in existence. So, considering that and knowing the power system functions on heart and goodwill and friendship, it makes sense that that power would be transferred to him as a final hope, considering that he showed love, admiration, and goodwill to all the people that left to the Mamodo world prior to him. So I never felt like that was something that just came out of left field, even though it did, but it felt right. Like it all added up to me in the end. Brago didn't like nobody, so that's why he didn't get that, even though he was there. Oh, I kind of skipped Tia, didn't I? I did. I didn't really talk about her powers. Well, I did earlier before I placed her, but so Tia basically has multiple shield spells. She got like one or two offensive spells. One is just like this little wispy thing where it's like it looked like two boomerangs of frisbees that kind of like spin and just go at a nigga. Really ain't nothing. And then the other one is like a negative form of her ultimate healing spell, which is Syphogio, but it's like Shin Syphogio, I think. I can't remember. No, her Shin spell is the big shield, which was able to block the souped up version of Clear Note, his ultimate, well, one of his ultimate destruction spells, which was like, it's so crazy because it was a cannon, but the cannon shoots out from an even bigger cannon, and it's like the cannon itself goes, the smaller cannon goes to the target and then shoots point blank, and Tia was able to block that. It's very crazy. I loved it. Yeah, Tia's special. She's special. So that's the end of the tier list, man. I got this other Clear Note, which is just a duplicate. That's not something in the story. And this nigga non-canon from a movie, I think. But yeah, that's I guess that's the end of the stream, man. You know, thanks for whoever came through. Appreciate niggas. Know what I'm talking about? RP Pimp C. Praise God. Drink some water. It's Ramadan. I'm observing Ramadan right now, so when the sun come up, I gotta stop drinking water. So I gotta get it in, nigga. Deuces. Hopefully I'll do this more and get it right next time. This was awful. Personally, I think this was awful. But first time back in like, I don't know how long. We could talk about it later, how long it was, I guess. See you later. Love you. I guess you wonder where I've been. Search to find the love within. I came back to let you know Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me, but I'm in all day from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. I forgot the rest of the lyrics, but they can't copyright me for singing, can they? Can they do that? I didn't play the music, and I don't sound like Bobby Caldwell. All right, goodbye, goodbye.